Alright, I'm going to attempt a vlog here. And it's a hat day. It's got to be a hat day because, oh, does my hair look like shit. I have a lot of updates to do just on a lot of different things. So this might get a little long and I might have to cut it a little bit here and there. But the first, I'm going to go ahead and do the Matthew's gift update because that's what I'm going to post this on Matthew's gift, and the people that don't really care about my personal life probably just want me to cut to the chase. So I really plan to use this time while I'm having to sit to do some bracelets, but I'm real shaky. I'm kind of wobbly still, and so doing the little tiny beads on the elastic it's just, I can't. And these things are holding me up from boxes, so I think I'm going to try to use some of my diplomatic networking skills and try to reach out to a few more people, see if I can get a little help on these bracelets. They're super simple. They're just beads on elastic. They're not complicated. They don't have like the lobster claw things. You just beat them and knot them, but they take me a long time. It's not something I'm particularly talented in, and it is holding me up. I'm a little out of breath. It's so tight here. Some of you may have seen, I went through my yarn stash and I have just mountains of boxes to sell, and I kept everything that could possibly be used for the gift boxes. And just looking at it, I realized I'm not gonna get rid of any of that, guys. I'm sorry, there's a glare from the window here. And I'm gonna go ahead and take all that with me, because even though I may not be able to do the box ministry when I get over there, I can still knit and crochet the hats and gowns and blankets for the babies and donate them to any hospital, or reach out to churches, and anybody that has a stillborn, I can get those to them. And I really feel like I will be doing this the rest of my life. I hope when I get over there, I will meet some more people and that have experienced this, find my tribe over there, and keep it going. I think it's important, and it's something that has meant so much to me, to be able to give back and meet people that have gone through something that a lot of people don't really understand, and it changes you so much that you really do feel the need to connect with other parents that have walked through it. So once I make my final donation, like in December, I'm gonna pack this stuff up and take it with me. I hope I find volunteers for the bracelets though, because damn, it's just, you know, keeping me back a little bit. The next thing is, I kind of put out there a couple of months ago that I was struggling a lot with postpartum depression, and I never really followed up on that. They did put me on a medication. I wasn't thrilled about it, but there wasn't an end in sight for relief. I was really struggling, and a lot of that just had to do with circumstantial stuff going on. I hadn't talked a whole lot about it in a previous blog. My marriage was over, and I was having a baby, and nobody wants that, you know? And at the same time, trying to navigate a new relationship and not even understanding what was it, because I couldn't legally pursue that, and because I wasn't divorced, but because that person wasn't local, it was more like a courtship. And Jamie was involved. He did talk to this person, and they talked about me, actually. Things about me that, you know, were to be heated, and Jamie felt that, God, I'm sorry guys, I'm a little bit shaky. Jamie felt that this person was the right one for me because he showed care and concern, and we clicked in so many different ways. And as it was coming to a close, even though I didn't know, I can kind of feel it. And I guess I feel the situation was, this person didn't have a whole lot going for them, and because they didn't have to be accountable to me, as in it was a real relationship, because it was long distance, it was enough for them until they got on their feet and established their real life. And then I wasn't worth the effort anymore. It was kind of, I'm down on my luck, I need attention, this person's giving it to me. Now that I have a good job, now that I'm, you know, establishing myself, now I'm going to go find a real girlfriend. And oh, it hurt, and it still hurts. And I can't really talk a lot about that, because then that hurts other people in my life. You know, my girlfriend will just say, you know, it's better for you, but I miss him, you know. That was my best friend for the longest time. So that is extremely hard to deal with. And it was really hard to deal with coming out of having a baby and have the emotional highs and lows, and kind of feeling that slipping away, something that was extremely important to me, and probably for the first time in my life having felt what I felt. I mean, I got married really fast. I was 18, and it's very common knowledge in my marriage that when I got married, say hi. Hi. I was just trying to get out of my house when I was younger. There was a lot of turmoil and drama, and Jamie and I moved in together. More of a kind of let's see what happens thing, not really till death do us part. I don't think either one of us took that seriously. He said he did, but I was a baby. And then we got pregnant so quickly that that's it. We're a family. Nothing's going to break us up. And even going through all the stuff we went through, we held tight, you know, and there was a lot. There was a lot of drama. She thinks she needs to tell you all about it. And so it wasn't the same thing as making an adult choice that you click with somebody and you do want to share your time and spend your days with them. It was a default mode almost, you know. So for the first time in my adult life, I had chosen somebody and chosen them based on their attributes and their qualities that I thought they had. And at this point, I don't even know how much was real and how much was not real, or how much I was just a crutch. Pause, please. We had a little drama there. I guess the best way to describe it for me is, you know, if you're watching a horror movie, you're feeling real fear, but maybe it's based on something not real. Maybe that's how I feel. I still haven't sorted that out yet. I know that I'm still mourning it. I'm mourning the loss of what I had. It's weird to go through anything and not message this person, you know, even with the kids, like, oh, so-and-so did this, or we're going to do this. It still really hurts. And I don't know that, will it stop? I have no idea. I just get through each day the best I can and try to see the bright side, you know. I don't know. There'll be a lesson in it eventually. I think it's hard for Jamie too. But so many people are like, well, now you have him there. I really wish they'd stop crying. It's all day nonstop crying over everything because they have a cold and it's just drama. But if I waited till it was calm, I would never get this done. Anyway, so many people are like, well, thank God he was there for you and all. You know, and he was, because Jamie's my friend. He is the father of my children. But at the time all this was going on, there was no marital relationship and we were not pursuing it. He would have liked to. I was very, very done. It was just a legality. So each day now we're trying to reestablish something. I don't know what that looks like, and he doesn't know what that looks like. It's not like, you know, consolation prize thing here. I have actually lost a relationship that I was invested in, and I have no idea if I would ever do that again, like ever try again. And then I'm kind of looking in the mirror like, am I a cheater or something? But, you know, for TMI out there was celibacy completely on my end here, even living in the same home, because to me that would have been wrong to be attached to somebody else and use somebody else's body physically. And maybe that's too much information, but that's how I roll. I would not change in front of him. Even when I was giving birth, it was a little weird because, you know, obviously you don't give birth with clothes on. Very uncomfortable for us to see each other in that. No showering in front of each other. None of that was going on. We were living very celibate and not intimate at all. So with the postpartum thing, I think all of that went on had a bigger part to play in it than just hormones. And Joan was a huge surprise, guys. And I know we have so many children, and we do because we have never used birth control past when we had Cassidy. That's another story I'll get into. But there's been a really big pulling away of some of the beliefs that we held, at least for me. I have to interrupt this like 50 million times because I can't get up and run and chase these kids. I don't even know where I was. I think, Joan was a huge surprise. For the longest time, we subscribed to the belief that, you know, we still do, that life begins at conception and we were not going to stop that. But after Corbin especially, I had a really hard time with the pelvic issues. I could barely walk at the end of my pregnancy. And he was in the NICU for 7 days, and boy, did I crash and burn emotionally after that. I was fine while he was in the NICU, but then when I got home, I just, him on all those wires, and it did me in, and I needed a break. I really, really needed a break, and I asked for it. That wasn't something we came to an agreement on, and so when I got pregnant, it wasn't, yay, it wasn't like the wrap up the pregnancy test, and surprise the husband. We both kind of just stood on the porch and stared at each other like, what now? This was not in the plans, and I am so glad I had him, guys. So cute. And I do not regret that, but it was not something we planned for. Not that we planned any of them, but we were trying to not have a baby at that point. So that was just so odd because everything had to stop legally, that what we wanted to do. And now I can see that there's been some things put in place that are helpful because, like I said, or like we've announced, we're going to move to Australia, and that requires us to be legally married. Jamie would be the one to get the skilled worker visa because his classification of job is needed over there, and I would have to be legally married to him to go with him. And we all want to go. And I know you guys are probably thinking, what the heck? So I was going to go into that a little bit. Like, why Australia? Did we just immediately decide? And guys, we can't even immediately decide to go to McDonald's with this big of a family. Nothing is ever, immediate. Nothing is ever decided and just jumped on. We look into it and research, read pros and cons and talk. We have a family meeting almost every evening, usually, and just to kind of discuss it. And prior to having even been to Australia, we had discussed moving to Chile because of the some of the laws that were going on around here we were very uncomfortable with, and we kind of took that off the table. And as all this was going on, where my relationship was ending, like, oh my God, you could say the word koala and I felt like I'd been sucker punched. It was just such a magical thing going over there for me, and even for Eli. Like, I stepped off the plane and I felt like I was home. I've never felt that anywhere I've ever been in my life, and I didn't understand what to do with that. The culture, the people, the everything was very different. And I guess if you haven't been to both places, you wouldn't know that, because I know some Australians are like, why would you come over here? There's so many different things over there. But I've been to both places now, and I can tell you the feeling and the culture is very different. And so as I was kind of going through the whole heartbreak thing, I had expressed to Jamie so much of what I felt over there. I wonder if it was an attachment to a place and not a person. And I loved it so much there. I want to go back. And so we just kind of started tiptoeing around it and looked into it. And there's a lot to offer our family over there that we don't have here. For those that don't know, Jamie is in the nuclear power industry. His entire career has been around nuclear stuff. I can't really go into all that. In the Navy, it was nuclear propulsion. He was on a submarine. And out west, it was nuclear safety at a national research laboratory that did stuff. It required a very high level of security clearance. It required our friends and some of our family being interviewed by the FBI. So some big stuff over there. And while he was doing that, he's always picked up extra certifications along the way because it's a passion for him. And it's a, controversial issue, but our power needs are great. They're not going away. Some of the alternatives are not as green as they initially appear. And it's just something he really is passionate about. And Australia does not have a nuclear industry, but they do have a nuclear advocacy sort of situation happening there to educate the masses, to talk about it, the possibilities and whatnot. And he has a lot he can offer. Now, over here in the States, where his jobs would always be, will be rural. And that's fine for us. In terms of his income, we make well above and beyond what most people do. And that doesn't set us up for some hoity-toity lifestyle when you have 9 children. We've never lived high on the hog or anything. We've kept it pretty humble, but that's great for us. We would live a very comfortable retirement, very comfortable. But for our children, we live so far out. There is no public transportation, and those who know, the minimum wage here isn't great. There's just not a lot of opportunity where our children will stay close to us. They are going to have to go far, far away to make a life for themselves, and that's not what we wanted when we had this family. So you're looking over there, and where his opportunities would lie would also provide opportunities for our children to be able to live a self-sustaining and independent lifestyle closer to us and be more involved in our life. And that is the most important thing to us, is to remain a family. So we decided at this point, we have this, window of opportunity through the process of migrating over there to work on our marriage and to work on our friendship, and at least get to the point where we're getting along and can live together without drama and chaos and all that. And I have to pause again for the baby, so hold on. I'll try to finish this up with him. He's not a happy boy today. Can you say hi, mister? Say hi. So anyway, our children are really excited. There's a lot for them there. There's going to be a lot for all of us there. And we're kind of the why not people. We don't ask ourselves, why should we do something? Why not? I mean, you get one time here, guys, and sometimes you just got to go on an adventure and, I don't know, throw your sails to the wind and see what happens. I mean, we've already lived here. We've lived out west. We've done all sorts of things. Why not do another thing? Why not give our kids, you know, something else, something exciting in their life? That's kind of the way we live it. And just kind of going for it and giving ourselves some time to settle into who we are right now, because it's been a lot. We still have a lot to work through, a whole lot to work through, because everything's different. Everything's very different than it used to be. Back 10 years ago, you guys may not know this, but I was dresses only. I would not wear pants. Would not use birth control. You homeschooled, you baked your own bread, you didn't wear jewelry, didn't call any attention to yourself at all, because that's not what God would want. So there's been a 180. And I'm still finding myself wondering where my faith lies. I'm still a Christian. I still absolutely believe in that theologically. But the more and more that I go, the more I realize that there's so much business in it, and it's not personal anymore. And everything in me, every fiber of my being believes that if you're going to have any kind of spiritual relationship, it's going to be one-on-one. It's not an orgy. You know, it's not showing up at a building and checking a mark off. I mean, who you are at the end of the day is who you are. And if there is a God, he's watching you, no matter who of his people or fans that you've impressed. So, and I'll end the vlog with that a lot of people are like, wow, you're putting a lot out there, you know. I am, because at the end of the day, I just have to live with myself. And if anything I do offend somebody, they don't need to be in my life. I'm not hurting anybody, for the most part. You guys see me in my terrible hat, it might steer your eyes a little bit. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to be the best person I can. Impact the planet in a positive way. Take very, very good care of my sweet little guys. And love all my friends and my family. And just be honest. You know, life's hard and it's messy. And I don't think we should fear disappointing the people that truly care for us, because if they care, they'll know we're struggling, and they want to know what we're going through, and they want to know how they can help, or just be a listening ear, shoulder to cry on. And the more that I share with people, the closer I feel with people, and that's just my main goal. That has been the best part of my life, is being close with people. And the older I get, the closer I get. I cry about it, but I have really, really amazing friends. And the more that I've been able to share with them, the more they've been able to help me out. Kind of get through, like, I guess my first grown-up heartbreak, you know. I haven't really kind of come out and said, you know, I miss this person, because I don't want to be slapped over the head, but I miss what it was. I don't still know what it was. I can't really say that around here a lot, because I don't want to hurt other people. But still stinging a little bit from that. You know, you pick up the phone and wish you had a message, or wish you knew how that person was doing, because regardless of what they did to me, I still care that they're okay and that they're doing all right. I always have, and I probably always will. But anyway, that's the end of this, and I will take more video after, I think Thursday is when I go back to the doctor. And I guess when they pull the tubes out, it's really kind of nasty and gross, but I feel really good for where I'm at on this, and I'm really glad I did it. I thought it was really vain at first, and it's not something I ever saw myself doing, but I'm really in this phase, maybe it's getting close to my 40s, that life is just too short to settle for the stuff you don't want to settle for anymore, and you just kind of got to go for it. And I hope I pass that on to my kids. I hope they get that earlier than I did. I hope they look at the world and think, why the hell not? I can do this. You know, I'm special too. I can do it. And that's kind of what I want for them, in the moral way, in the changing the world for the better way, not the Justin Bieber can do whatever he wants way. But anyway, I will see you guys soon. You have a great day.